Okay, we're back in the kitchen with Kitus Cooks. Today, we're going to make a very simple thing for breakfast. For Thanksgiving morning breakfast, we're making some hash browns. Now, that sounds really easy because you go to the freezer and you pull out a bag of potatoes that are freeze-dried or something, and you throw them in some oil and bake them. We're actually going to make them from scratch, which is fun to do because the potatoes change really drastically once we follow the process, the scientific process of getting the starch off the potatoes and getting them into oil. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to use russet potatoes, and I got some big ones here, some big potatoes. See, a whole bunch of them. You can almost build a wall with these. But we're not going to do that. We're going to what we're going to do is we're going to get our box grater. If you don't have a box grater, you have a sometimes you have like at home a food processor. You can use that. I'm going to use the box grater. So what we do is we just start, and I'm just going to grate them. I'm going to use the bigger size hole instead of the littler one. You can use the little one if you want to, but I think this gives it the perfect size. You're going to scrape your whole potato, shred the whole thing into this bowl. And kind of the nice thing, it's a good workout. And I don't know if any of you probably haven't been paying attention, but have you seen these guns lately? Yeah, I've been doing a lot of potato work out in the field. Nobody's noticed, nobody's mentioned anything. Everybody's knocked down a grade because they haven't said, "Chef, you're looking so buff." I haven't been in a gym in probably 10 years. Come on. It's the only exercise I get. All right, so I got the whole potato in there. This little piece, I'm going to put that in my compost pile. Shake those babies out of there. We're going to still use that, so I'm just setting it there. And then I've got some over here, I've got some cold water. Nice cold water. I put some ice in it so it's really chilly. And I just pour it over the top. See how the potatoes had already started to turn brown? And we don't want that. But once we pour that water on there, that brown magically goes away. It's like a mood potato. The color changes. So you know those potatoes were not in a good mood once I scraped them up, but now they're back in a good mood. So what we're doing is we're trying to get as much as the potato starch off of that as we can. So we've got quite a bit off of it already. Speaking of potato starch, there's Mr. Jelsing.
Hot stuff.
Uh-huh. Oh, we're making some hash brown potatoes there, Mr. Jelsing.
Oh, I'll stick around.
I know, stick around. We'll make them for you. Okay, see what we're doing now? I'm squeezing as much of the water out of there as we can. And look at the color of that water. It almost looks dirty, but it's not. That's from the potato had started to turn brown, and we rinsed them. So you think you're done, you're not. You got to rinse them another time. We're going to get more of that starch off of our potatoes. So I still got more cold water. Pour it on there. Be liberal with it. If you do it over the sink, it's probably easier. You can just kind of run some water and just rinse it off like that. Now this is what will make it a lot like the ones you get in the store, the frozen ones. You know, you get that, and the shredded ones, they're frozen. You put them in the oil and everything. They cook really well. Well, guess what? We're going to cook them even better. Promise you. Okay, our second time. Rinsing them through, and that looks good. If you think you got it all, then you're probably good after 2 rinsings. 2 rinsings usually does it. Does anybody ever follow like the shampoo thing where it says wash, rinse, repeat? That's such a waste. You just need to do it once. Don't believe Head and Shoulders. They're just trying to make you use up twice as much product on one shower. Okay, so now we've got all this. How did I get on shampoo all of a sudden? Now the potatoes are here, nicely done up. I'm going to turn on a pan. I forgot to move my soup from earlier today. Okay, I'm going to turn on 3 different, you're going to do them in 3 different types of pans to see how they turn out. If one type of pan is better than another. So we'll get them warm. So now the important thing is we're going to put potatoes in the hot oil. So what do we want to make sure there's not a lot of on these potatoes? Water, right? And since we ran them through the water already, what we need to do is dry them off a bit. Why don't we want water on them? Because that will make the oil splatter. It could splatter all over you. It could hurt you. So that's what we're going to do. So look, I'm taking a towel. I put it right in the middle. And pull up each edge just like that. And then I'll get another bowl. Well, let's do it right over our water that we already have. We're not going to reuse this water. Okay, so this is what I do. I start turning it just like that. Now look at all that water that's still in there, huh? You thought they were dry potatoes. They're not. So this will get, oh, now you see where my workouts come from, right? Oh, that feels pretty good. I'll go the other way. Twist the potatoes back the other way. See if, oh. I don't really need to be making all those noises, but I do it anyways. It's good. It's good. It makes good for good TV. All right, now open that up, and look, they're nice and dry, and they almost look almost fluffy now. Gotten all the water out of them. They're not sticking together. That's the perfect consistency we want with these potatoes. Okay, that's exactly what we want to do. So let's suppose we want to get all these potatoes ready. So I'll just take this out of here, shake those potatoes in here. If your towel is too wet, go ahead and switch it up. If you feel like you can still use it, go right ahead. I'm going to leave it up to your laundering. If you have to do a lot of laundry, I don't want you to blame me for it. Okay. Once again, look at that. I just turn it, and look how much water comes out of there. I think that's kind of fascinating. There's all that potatoes. Those potatoes had so much water on them, and you just couldn't tell. But when you do this, it's all gone. Whew. I'm sweating. Honestly, I'm sweating. But it's from the pickleball match earlier. All right. So look, I bet that's a good half cup of water. Delicious potato water. I could make vodka with it. Hey, that may be a good side project for me with this extra water. All right, once again, look at those potatoes. Perfectly falling apart. They're nice and dry now. So we're going to put them all together here. And we're going to start pretty quickly frying up some of these potatoes. Let's see, I'm looking at our pans. They're looking like they're getting warm. So I'm going to do a couple of different types. Let's see. I put oil in this one. It's regular oil. That was probably like 3 tablespoons. This one already has some oil in it. It's a non-stick pan. And that oil had a little bit of sage in it, so it's got a little flavor. This is just plain oil. And then the middle pan, I don't know if any of you remember this, but we made some what we call clarified butter about a week or two ago. And I talked about the joys of clarified butter. So clarified butter is butter that we've cooked, and then we've taken out all the proteins that were in it. And so all we have is actually just butter. And so what happens is you can cook it to a much higher temperature than you can normally with butter. And so the joy of that when we're doing this is that we're going to get some really great flavor, some buttery flavor, and it's probably not going to burn. All right? So we'll start with that one. So we're just going to put a nice dusting of potatoes in this one. You don't want to get them too thick. You just want a nice even layer of them, okay? And so I'm going to let that start like that. So then our next set of potatoes, I might have to make a few more potatoes. I'm going to have to do a few more, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and once again get our box cutter. Our box grater, grate some more. And I actually like doing this, so I don't mind. I'm sure you love watching me do it too. Almost got the whole thing done. See how quickly it goes? We don't have a lot of downtime, do we? All right. Oh, ow, I got my finger there. Can't wait to taste those ones. Okay, so those, I'm taking a look at them. You can tell I can just tell by how they're looking that they're starting to cook together. So you can do them a couple of different ways. You can toss them. You can do it with a spatula. You need to keep an eye on it underneath to make sure there's enough oil in it, or as we use butter in that one. So just keep an eye on that. Here we're adding a little more water to wash off our new set of potatoes. And to these potatoes, once we get them washed and cleaned, we're going to shred some onion into them. So instead of just doing plain potato, the next set, we're going to do some onion with it, so we'll give it another flavor. And there's other things we could do. We can add some bacon to these. You can add some jalapeno to it. There's all kinds of different flavors you can add to these potatoes, and it makes a really nice breakfast treat. All right, so these potatoes, if you wanted to, you know how I talk a lot about making sure getting some stuff done ahead of time. These potatoes, if you just shredded them the night before and left them, they would turn almost black. You wouldn't want to use them. But if you rinse them the night before, like we did, dry them out, then you'll be able to keep them, put them in the refrigerator in a plastic bag, and they probably won't turn color on you. I'm hoping that will happen. Okay, so if you feel you want to get those done ahead of time, you can do that. But it happens so quick, these potatoes, that you can probably do them the morning of if you want to be making breakfast on Thanksgiving. And if I were you, I would say the night before or 2 days before, I'd say, hey, I want to surprise you guys and make breakfast on Thanksgiving, because then nobody will expect you to help with Thanksgiving dinner, and you can kind of get out of it, sit around and watch like football or the Macy's Day Parade, which they're probably not doing this year, huh? I would imagine they wouldn't. Oh, those are starting to really turn a nice color. Okay, so we can probably go ahead and, season those here pretty quickly. But I want to dry some more potatoes off, just because I feel like I didn't get a good enough workout there a minute ago. So back in the gym. Oh, don't want to do that, do we? Right over here, okay? Once again, turn it. Look at all that juice. Look at that. It's like a late night infomercial. Look at that. Oh, look how strong I was. I ripped that towel right in half. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to show off. They call me, on the street, they call me Brutus. I don't know who. I don't know if that is actually even a true story. I have a feeling it's not. Okay, those potatoes, just keep flipping them around. You want to just get them kind of really even brown. All right, one last squeeze here, and I think we'll be ready to make some more. Should have had the cameraman do some of these potatoes before. Get him in shape. All right, there we go. Look at all those potatoes. Nice. Perfect. It's a potato mania. November potato mania. Rocktober. All right, those are looking good. So those are about ready. I'm going to add to these, let's do a little bit of pepper. Let's do some salt. Because the potatoes, honestly, they're not watered with salt water, so they don't have any seasoning. That's one thing I never understood. How come farmers don't water their crops with salt water so that we can not have to season our vegetables? Think about it. It'll kill the plants. Come on, that's why. Okay, there we go. Those are about ready. I like how those look. How about you, Eric? Mm-hmm. Eric likes them too. And you just got to cook them for a while, because remember, they haven't been cooked at all. And so if you just get the outside nice and brown, and then maybe the ones inside aren't quite as cooked as they should be, so you want to make sure you stir them up a bit. And if you need a little more clarified butter in this one, well, let's go. A little more clarified butter. Let's do it. Okay, there we go. I think that might do it up nicely. I'll grab maybe a pair of tongs, or of course I didn't bring any over, so I'll grab this guy. Just make sure those middle ones are getting nice and browned up. Oh, this is going to be delicious. Okay, looking perfect. Nice. I like how those look. Okay, our next ones then, what I'll do is let's add a little bit of potato to them. Nope, onion. I've been getting all the wrong vegetables today. This morning I kept talking about apples when I was peeling potatoes. It's a good laugh for everybody involved. Wish you guys could have been here. Okay, so the onion, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take half of the onion, and we're going to add some onion over here to this potato mixture, and we'll just shred it up same way as we did the potato. But we're not really going to, oh, maybe I should. I didn't even think of that. Maybe I should put the onion in a little towel also to take off some of that extra juice, because there's a lot of juice in those onions. Believe me, you. Watch. Look at all that. Oh, can't believe I'm wasting that. I could have drank that. Onion juice. Okay, good. I didn't realize there's that much water in an onion. What do you know? Look what I learned today. Okay, I'm going to toss it together with some of those potatoes. Right into this one they're going to go. Woohoo! Yes. All right, remember, just nice, even layer. I think this guy's ready. Oh, look at that. Yum. Can you say IHOP? Can you say Denny's? Those look good. I cannot wait to eat those. Okay, then let's do, oh, that's still good. So these ones, we're going to let them cook a bit. We're going to stir them up. You can see already around the edges, they're getting nice and brown. That's nice. And this is good. If you like to learn how to flip potatoes over, this is a good exercise to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to try another type of potato, and I've never done this before. I just thought earlier, this sounds kind of cool. So what I'm going to do, let's do some onion in here. And then, and I like sweet and savory mixed together. I think that really works well. So sweet and savory means sweetness is like sugary or like natural sugars. And then savory means like saltier. So I've got my onions, which is savory. The potatoes are savory. And look what I got. I got some apple. So I thought, boy, I bet some, ow, right in my eyeball. Woo! God, the show must go on. Okay, so we're going to put some apple in here and see how this works. I've never done it before. I just saw it earlier. I thought, that sounds really good. Put apple in your hash browns. And we'll find out if it is or isn't. Okay, we'll take that little bit we've got there. I'm going to squeeze some of the juice out of that. A lot of squeezing in this, isn't there? I've got a big thing of juice over here. That's apple juice. It's an apple, onion, and potato juice concoction I've made. Okay, get all these, perfect. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them over here, and this is our non-stick pan. So I don't think they'll all fit in there. So I'll do about half of these potatoes. Okay, watch. Be careful with your fingers. I have kind of asbestos fingers, so sometimes I can touch hotter things. But don't do that at home. Okay, let's see. Cross your fingers. Oh, almost got it. Darn it. Well, worst things have happened. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to do anyways. I meant to do that. Okay, so remember oil, clarified butter, sage oil. Nice. These things are looking good. This is going to be a nice afternoon snack for me to eat some of these delicious things. Okay, so these potatoes are ready. I'll taste them for doneness and for saltiness and oh yeah. The butter flavor is pretty distinct in there. Way different than if you'd used oil. Okay, so it's got a nice buttery flavor to that. Not quite ready to flip. You can always tell they're ready to flip. They all kind of stick together nicely. That's when I'm confident I can flip it over. Let's see, this guy, not quite ready. I can just kind of, oh, look at that, huh? Looky there. Let's see, this guy. Nice. All right, so everything browning so nicely. It's just move things around. It's easy, as I say, with a pair of tongs, just to kind of fluff them while you're doing it. I think I've got one more pan I'm going to grab. I don't know where my other non-stick. I don't know how good this non-stick pan is, but we'll try it. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, and you just keep flipping these guys around. Oh, I forgot to grab tongs eyes over there. Silly me. All right, here's a test of a real chef. See, didn't drop a thing. Okay, I can see that they're starting to, so with these potatoes, they soak up a lot of the oil. So sometimes you'll need to add a little more oil to it, but don't go crazy. Don't do like, you know, a cup of oil. Just do a little tablespoon at a time, and you'll be better off. You can always add more oil. like salt, you just can't take any out. There we go. Nice. Okay. So this is making a really good breakfast morning breakfast treat for you on Thanksgiving. This is what I'm getting at. Okay. So this guy here, we're going to put these. Whew, I really should have grabbed some tongs. Darn it. I'm trying to convince Eric to walk over there and get them. He won't do it. All right. We'll put some of those on a plate. You know what I'll do? In fact, I'll put them all on a plate. We're going to smash them around a bit. Perfect. And so what we're going to do now is, let's say this is your special at your restaurant today. It's hash brown and fried egg. Okay, that sounds delicious. So we put a little bit of oil on there. I think we have some cheese over here we can put on. Oh yeah, look at there. We're going to sprinkle a little cheese on those potatoes. That sounds good at this moment, doesn't it? If you had like so these are kind of plasticky plates, so you don't really want to put those in the oven. But if the potatoes are hot enough, that should melt up. Oh yeah, that's getting hot. That's perfect. Okay, so we'll see if this non-stick pan is still a non-stick pan or not. So we're going to go in there with an egg. Because if it's not non-stick anymore, and then we're making scrambled eggs. If it's non-stick, we can do eggs over easy. How's that sound? All right, so now we've seasoned the eggs, salt, and pepper. Did anybody notice I said salt for the pepper and pepper for the salt? Chef, you're crazy. Okay. All right, I think we might be able to get it. A little warm on that fire. Oh, look at that. I love that. Those look so good. Now these eggs, this is the fun part. As a chef, one of the hardest meals for me to cook is breakfast, because getting eggs right is the hardest thing. Every single person that comes into your restaurant or your food service, whatever it is, will have a different way they want their eggs cooked. It's over easy, it's medium, over well, sunny side up, sunny side, what is it called? Sunny side, where they put a lid over it and some water in there. There's a name for it. So everybody's got a different darn way to order their eggs, and it's no fun, because if they don't like them, then they'll send them back. And you'll have to redo them, and every time you have to redo an egg costs, let's see, right now they're probably like 7 or 8 cents a piece, so that's, if you have to redo 2 eggs, that's 14 cents. If you have to do that 5 times in a day, do the math, it adds up really quickly. And so you want to, oh, that's so nice. Ow, that pan got hot. Okay, so that's a nice look there. And then we want to finish it up, and we were going to call this our smoking hot, our smoky spicy eggs and potato, and then we finish it with these spicy red jalapenos. Okay, and we'll send it out, and we ding the bell, and in comes a waiter or a waitress, and they pick it up, they run it out there, and then the guy says, I wanted my eggs scrambled. And so the chef is really nice, and he says, oh, I'd love to redo that for you. You should hear what I'd really say. So I had a waiter years ago. It's a very funny story. Lee Mathis. He worked for me in Los Angeles, and we were doing brunch at a restaurant, and this woman sent her eggs back literally 5 times. And the 5th time when she was sending it back, he said to her, lady, you don't want me alone with your eggs. and I should have been mad at him and said, hey, you can't say that to a customer, but it was really actually very funny. It's a woman that just wasn't happy with her life. So she was taking it out on us poor people in the kitchen. So anyways, we had a good laugh. We laughed about it for years. And then Lee passed away. So rest in peace, Lee. You were a good man. All right. So we got some clarified butter, and so we'll do some clarified butter with some eggs. And this is careful when you crack your eggs. If you crack them too far through, you're going to break the yolk, which I thought I did, but I didn't. Okay? We'll salt and pepper them while they're cooking. And I do love being able to flip eggs. It's kind of a fun little thing to do. Okay, so these are the eggs, the potatoes. These were, what's the difference? These were just regular oil. And I let them cook a little bit too long. So you wouldn't want to serve that to your customer, but you'd find some cooks that want to eat it. Okay, so these ones have, what, apples in them? Oh no, I forgot about these. Now they're going to be burnt on the bottom. Well, luckily this person wanted eggs burnt on the bottom. Phew, we really lucked out with that one, didn't we? And let's say this person really likes cheese. I do a lot of make-believe stuff here. All right, so we put a little cheese on top of there. We're gonna just slide these right on top of that. Yum. And then you get some toast with that, with some blackberry jelly. And then this one, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think it looks good. What do you think, Eric?
Yum.
Eric said yum. Eric doesn't talk a lot. Okay, so just some cool ways to do hash browns. Remember, you can add different things into them. Add bacon into it, add some sausage into them. Put some onion, garlic. We put apple. We'll see how that turns out. I'll let you know right now, actually. Let's do that. Because we are the apple capital of the world. It adds a nice little bit of sweetness to it. Yum. This one's mine. This is mine. That is good. Might need a little more salt. Because I don't think I salted these ones, did I? That one. Other than that, it's a home run. We've got a new dish. It's called Wenatchee Valley Hash Browns. All right, let me see. Make sure I covered everything. I think I did. So, remember, everybody, get in the kitchen. Keep your knives sharp. Keep them letters coming, those emails. Like my TikTok page, Licklock TikTok page. Like my TikTok page, and keep on cooking. Perfect. It's breakfast for lunch today. Boom, we're out of here. Cut.